Yo, what is up, everybody? I hope you can hear me, you can see me. The kids are kind of messing with the desk today, so trying to make sure I have everything in set up correctly, basically. So I'll give it a couple minutes for everybody to jump in and all that. I can already see quite a bit of people in here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in on a Sunday evening, and we'll get into a few things. But for everybody that is here, how the hell are you guys? Let me just pull up some stuff really quick. And if you weren't aware, today's live stream is also brought to you by FASTSTAT. If you guys haven't, if you don't know who they are, go check out my podcast with the family that runs FASTSTAT. One of my favorite things is that they're a family-owned business. The daughter Ashton was telling me how she grew up, or yeah, I don't know how long they've been around, but in the warehouse actually building these things, soldering and all that kind of stuff. And then now you can find them at basically any supply house. So um, again, thank you to FASTSTAT for sponsoring. And if you guys ever need any wiring extenders, basically if you don't have enough wires at your thermostat, you need that common to hook up your Wi-Fi thermostat, like a Nest, Eco, whatever. Any of those Wi-Fi ones, you can use a common maker, and you can also set up multiple stages if you guys don't have enough wires. Check out FASTSTAT. Like I said, at any supply house, you can find them online. I'll leave all that linked down below. What is up, everybody? Let me pull up my YouTube stuff really quick. Dashboard. I just want to thank, obviously, the members, like I always do. We got YouTube channel members that have shown support. I appreciate you guys. I don't really ask for anything, but if you guys want to support, you can do it that way. It starts at like $1.99 a month. Just want to thank Gary Carnell, D Tolls, Mark Morales, B1062, Darwin Hooks, True Results, HTX, Brian, Chevy Runner 88, Mark Harris, Metal Rage Freak, and Lost But One. I appreciate you, channel members. If you guys didn't know, you also get I have videos up ahead of time, and yeah, I'll get into that, Victor. Um, oh yeah, videos go uploaded ahead of time. If you're a channel member, you get access to that. Sometimes they don't go up for weeks. Sometimes they have to be taken down, re-edited. If you guys are channel members, you get to see that kind of stuff, and I'll try to post more with it. You know, it's summer, it's kind of busy. Let me put this over here. Missed HVAC nights. Hope your vacation was good. Yeah, I wanted to start off by saying friendly reminder, take that vacation, take some time off. I know we're in the middle of summer, but I had the opportunity to take the kids. We kind of planned this getaway that was out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a cabin. My girlfriend said it's called, like, I think that's what it's called. I think that was what was on my receipt, a glamping trip. Weird name, but basically it's camping, but you get Wi-Fi and air conditioning. You know, we had all that. I did notice that they had aux mini splits everywhere. So all the cabins had aux mini splits. All the little tents in the front, because you could also rent out a tent, had these aux mini splits, and it was cool. The kids had fun. There was a pool, basketball court, a game room. Kind of taught them to play pool a little bit. And what else did we do? It's by the creek, by the river there. Got into the water for a bit. It was a good time. My kind of vacation, because I used to be a city person. Love going in the city, Love, walking around town, all that, but I got over that. I rather be out, away from everything, decompress, and that's my kind of vacation. Kids loved it. They said they can't wait to go back and do something else like that. I'm trying to work my way up to some sort of camping lifestyle eventually. I got my truck. I've been adding stuff to it. We in the near future I would like to do more outdoorsy type of stuff. But we'll be back. HVAC nights. I know some guys were like, "Oh man, we're trying to make it every week," and don't worry, we'll be back this week. Yeah, glamping. I didn't know the term, but if my wife went, that's what we have to do. She doesn't like sleeping outdoors, campfires. It was pretty cool. I have a video that might come out tomorrow, but it's like a Klein ratchet set that I bought my dad. And after that, I was gonna do like a video on some fans. Right, I got a bunch of Milwaukee fans. One of them was sent out to me that was like a camping fan. It's kind of cool. It's rechargeable, oscillates, all that. I'll link it in the video, and I actually do like it. I'll add it to my tool link. If you just need a cheap fan that's rechargeable, it was really cool. And basically, I got footage of it out there, and I went ahead and got some footage of, just the place in general. So I was gonna post that at the end of the video. So during this, not the next video, but the one after, I'll kind of show some of the place, and it was real nice. It did rain a lot. I saw some guys talking about the flooding. We were up by San Antonio, so it did rain one afternoon, but that was about it. And now it's raining like crazy again. So I think we squeezed in right before or in between all the rain. But it wasn't north of San Antonio is where all that's happening. If anybody's out there, hopefully you guys are doing well. You're safe. There's houses floating around. There's cars floating everywhere. It's been a um, crazy flood in a lot of areas. I think it's like northwest of San Antonio. We went up on vacation east of San Antonio, basically. So kind of going up to New Braunfels. We took a stop there. My girlfriend found it. I love the place. But yeah, friendly reminder, take that vacation. I've been telling people that this has been a weird year. We do have hurricane season. San Antonio, I feel like always gets the brunt of it, and I know Austin was getting some rain too. I don't think Houston got it as much, but we're used to seeing storms when it's hurricane season. I just feel like early on in summer it's been weird weather. And right now it is humid. Yeah, Jason was saying that north of him there was flooding, but far away from where he's at. Yeah, they're still getting rain. I haven't kept up with it. I saw it this morning and I kind of looked into it, and they're still getting some rain. Like I said, like this is, from what I understand, I think they said once in 90 to 100 years that this hasn't happened in the longest time, which is unfortunate. Like it's not a thing that they were aware of, or it was kind of like a freak thing. But if you watch the news on North Texas, there's like houses floating down the roads, cars lost. And it happened in the middle of the night. There was I don't know if it was a camping trip. I forgot what it was. If it was a camp itself, where it was like adults and kids, and it flooded in overnight. So they were trying to rescue them. They found some kids up 30 feet in a tree because they flowed down the street, ended up somehow 20, 30 feet up in a tree. rescued some of them. Obviously, there's casualties, so it's been crazy. I live way far south. We don't usually have to worry about that. Every now and then it floods when a big hurricane gets close because we are by the beach, but it never actually, does too much damage here. But I hope everybody's safe if you guys are in North Texas. What is up, Steve? I think you're on somebody's podcast this week. Am I right? What is up, Ethan? What is up, Alex, the youngest HVAC tech on YouTube right now? Listen to Steve, because such a cool guy. Hit the like button. It's been weird. It's been really hot because that's my whole thing. Is like here I was waiting for that summer weather and we got it and then it went away. It was like a little fresh, a little rain here and there, and then the humidity is what always you can tell when it's gonna rain really bad because it gets super humid and sticky and nasty. So we got a lot of that. Now, of course, we got rain every other day basically now. So weird year for the weather. I was anticipating more of the triple digits. We haven't seen as much as we have the past few years. Again, I don't want the 118 that we had consistently, 115 a couple summers ago, but it's just been weird. I anticipated it being much hotter. It'll be super hot one day and then it'll rain the next day and then be super hot again and then rain. So it's been weird. Busy, 90 degrees. We have about the same weather. Flood leak at 2 a.m. That's the one. That's the one I'm remembering. I was like, it wasn't last year. It was like a couple years ago. Summer of 23 was hot. Oh yeah, HEB founded in Kerrville. That's where all this flooding's happening, basically. Victor, what is up? Good day from Australia, HVAC and Random. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm a city girl too. What's up? You just missed the current flood watch out here in San Antonio. Glad to hear you took your vacation. Yeah, man, like I was itching to get out for a while. I think I was like borderline burning out. Not as bad as previous years because I think we've been doing really great this year. We've had some help. I haven't had as many fires to put out this year. It's been a really good year, just nice steady work. We just secured like 2 more maintenance contracts, so that's going to be easy work, easy money. So and a lot of maintenance. If you guys, I try to push it. I know we talk about it on nights. Kurt is the one that's always against it. I push maintenance so much because it's steady pay, it's steady work, and it's going to be great now that we have apprentices. We have like 2, and a third one is coming. Actually, he's already here, and because one of our guys had one of the kids, the youngest one, because it's like him and his friend, had to go back to see family or something. So he's gonna be out for a few days. And his friend already started with us. He took kind of took his place, and then he comes back in a couple days. So we have those 2 kids, and I mean they're already helpers. They're already helping on service calls and bigger jobs, but to be able to put them in maintenance is a great way to start them, right? So maintenance is going to be a good income for us to be steady and have work for those guys. And it's just, it's something I never liked doing, but it's something that I always bring up to the customer, especially if they have really nasty units. I just send them the pictures, right? wash. I usually have service calls where I just have to hose down the coil, and it is just black coming out. So then I send that photo or video to them, and I'm like, this is why you're getting service calls. They're all like this. You know, if you get us every 6 months, how we do them, you know, this would be clean throughout the year, and we could catch the drains before they back up and they leak inside. You know, that's a big issue here. And bad motors, bad compressors, burnout, that is from typically a dirty coil, right? So is my video lagging a little bit? So I'm excited that we have more maintenance contracts, even though it's not the most exciting work. As the business owner, great, easy money and more things for the younger guys to do and to learn, because you'll get to see some of the units working, some of them not working as well. And you're just there to clean. So then you just have to write up things like, hey, this one didn't work, or a broken belt here, or a fan motor's not working on this unit. This one's not cooling as well, you know, just little notes. And then we can go back and schedule that work. And it's just, it's not hectic work, even though one of them, or they're all starting in summer. So it is hectic, but they're not expected to take on the emergency calls or the, you know, the weird service calls that we get. We got E in the house. What is up, man? Our maintenance hours are stacking up, calls coming in regularly. That's can't complain, right? What's up, Eddie? I don't know if that one doesn't let me pull it up, but what's up, Eddie? Rather be in the sticks, yeah. Not into the city life anymore. Any updates on Veto? Well, let me pull up. I don't know what we're gonna talk about today, but let's just pull up some things real quick. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. I don't have any updates. The whole Veto thing. So if you guys didn't know, Veto did sell, which I've been told by their people nothing changes. But just so you know, Veto, who is it? Malco Group, whatever it's called, Malco Tools. They own obviously Malco, Ace Chemicals. There's another one that I'm missing, and now they bought Veto Pro Pac. So Veto is now under a new ownership. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't have any news on that part. I was just told that it was gonna stay the same. Now I've been, and Rudy, you might, I know you've talked to them and pitched to them different things, but like I said, nothing changes, but things behind the scenes have been a little bit different. And if you're a Veto ambassador, Veto, if you work with them, maybe you've noticed it. I hope it's for the better. I just hope it is. Speaking of which, speaking of Veto, TTI to Milwaukee is Malco to Veto. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, they're changing the way they do their content. You probably won't see us on their YouTube as much, which is fine. That was just like a side thing that we got. And maybe it was C&D that I was thinking about. Yeah, C&D was the other one I was thinking about. They own Beckett and C&D valve catalogs. So we noticed that there was changes behind the scenes. I didn't know that it was because they were going to sell, but we'll see how it goes, because Veto is only where it is because of how they've how they've worked, right? The quality on it, the feedback from the technicians in the field, and the innovation. So if that still is there, I think it'll be fine. There'll be no big issue with it. But if they cut corners on anything, that's gonna suck. I forgot, somebody mentioned, I think Morgan had mentioned, or one of his people, say goodbye to the Veto promos. We'll see how that happens. If they keep their spring promotion, if they keep everything the same, I would be very happy, right? Because I always tell people, use the spring promo, buy this. Nobody else does it like that, and hopefully they keep it. But let me pull up something I had seen. So I'm not as in the loop as I guess I used to be. Let's just put it that way. I think it was on. I gotta look for the person that I saw it. It was on their channel. Oh, the warranty too. Yeah, 5-year warranty. No downtime. Just claim it. They'll send you a new one. You send the other one back. I mean, that was all cool stuff that they did. The 5-year warranty, the spring promotion, and the quality and all that kind of stuff, and innovating every year with bags that we all want to buy again and again. So hopefully all that stays. Let's see. Posts. Yeah, it'll be that one. Hopefully that works out. Yeah, because I don't think, because I had heard about this a while back from other people, that because I was like, I don't see Roger that much anymore, right? You don't. He's always like fishing now and stuff like that. So you kind of saw it coming, but hopefully it's the same. Just a different boss. Like, yeah. What is up, Matt? How's everybody's work week looking like? I'm getting back to work tomorrow. I took Thursday and Friday off. Well, got a little rest, and we're gonna get back to it tomorrow. Recently bought my first Veto bag. Definitely an upgrade. So we had talked about that. You had mentioned your Husky bag. Welcome to the Veto family. It is night and day. Uh, there are a couple of companies now, which I'm sure if you've been on social media, you've seen them, but they're typically just like kind of carbon copies of some of the Veto bags. But before that, what it was like CLC, which they're nice and they're cheaper, but I had to buy more of them. I had the little pouch with the flap that came down. Had to buy that one a couple times. Had the backpack. Had to buy that one a couple times because they kept ripping. So great bags for for a budget, but I had to buy them more than once. Where on the Veto side, you pay more, but you don't have to buy it more than once. And if it does rip, unless it's like extreme wear, they'll because I ripped one kind of right away, and they replaced it. It is a social media thing. They do have have that locked down, I think. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Instagram, TikTok, Veto bags everywhere. But in real life, you go to a job site, they got Husky or they got Klein. I see that a lot too. No, like And actually what it is the price. If I go out and somebody sees my Veto bag, oh, I don't want to pay 200 bucks or 300 bucks for that. I'm like, yeah, if you buy 3 bags that rip, it's the cost of one Veto bag that probably wouldn't rip. Doing a couple of repairs, mostly cleaning cooling towers, punching chiller tubes. Can't complain. It's a little what do you call that? Patina, just character. But they don't rip. Yeah, not too many people hear of Veto, and I only knew of it because of YouTube when people were like reviewing them left and right, and I was like, I should probably buy one, and then I finally bought one. Expensive but worth it. Yeah. My vacation was awesome. I needed a little reset. I feel ready to go back. I think we had talked about it on nights, and Kurt, I think, was like, leave your phone behind. My phone was going off. I had to tell the kids, give me a few minutes here and there, just to give tech support. Also, also do a quote for a job that I didn't want, uh, and then look up some prices. And it doesn't stop. I still have to do my job, but it was nice to be away, not have to worry about anything. And the goal this year or going forward is like, can this run? I think it should be the goal for everybody because I had seen uh, Rich in Kitchens, because he just started his business, and he talks about like investing in the early years. Which, yes, we had a hell of a first half of our career, right? Because basically, when I started my career, I was kind of running this business. So first half was like running everywhere, doing all this stuff, and we still work a lot, but you put time into it in the beginning so that you can take time off later. So the goal this year for me is, how well can it run without me? If I take myself out of the field, if I take myself away and I focus on other aspects of growing the business, are the guys okay? Is everybody still going to do good quality work, get everything turned in, get paid? That whole cycle, is that still going to be, able to run, and I can take time away to do things that I need to do, right? So I I like traveling now, so I've been trying to do that more. Obviously, AHR has been awesome. Can't wait to go back to Vegas. Vegas was the first one that I went to. Now I've made it to all of them since then, and I can't wait to go back. Um, but yeah, we got that. I got some other stuff that's coming up pretty soon. I have like 3 other visits to work into the year. A couple of companies, well, several companies I've reached out. Gonna go do some content, go film some stuff. Hopefully that works out really well, and I'll be able to record all that and give you guys some insights on some stuff that I'm gonna go see in person. Where you're at, well, you're in California. I think everybody has a Veto out there. All of our guys get Veto bags, and they love them. I think one of them had a Husky, had to upgrade him to, which actually, let me pull up what I was talking about. I had seen this on Tools with Tim. If you guys don't know who that is, let me pull up. Oh, where did I do it? It's here. Tools with Tim posted this, and this is nothing that I know of. I don't get any insights or too many insights. Um, Apparently, this is the blackout. What is this? SBLD, right? The Japan website kind of leaked this part of it. So we got an because he shows a couple of them. A blackout SBLD that I guess they're having a promotion on soon. And you get a mesh pocket now on the interior back panel. And you get a metal piece right here if you want to throw like a magnet, like a flashlight or something that has a magnet on it. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Obviously, you know how Veto works. They come out with the original one and then a reason to buy the blackout version. I had my Veto bag working at the apartments, and maintenance guy asked what bag was that and if you can buy it at Home Depot. I had to Google, he had to Google it and see the price. um, it's funny because when we do the YouTube videos, it does pop up, I think for Lowe's as a purchase option. But I think Lowe's marks it up a little bit. That's probably where they're heading, especially because Malco is at Home Depot. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to see these, and I think that's what people were concerned about. Because I know Jake knows. We've been asked about our opinion on more HVAC related stuff as far as like parts. They've asked us, what do you think about this? I just completely, I don't know what you told them, Jake. I completely ignored it and I went on to the next question that he asked. But yeah, some of these companies want to be mainstream. So like they were telling us that they wanted, they're like, what kind of parts would you want at a Home Depot, like on a weekend where you can't get the supply house open or something like that? And I was like, I don't want to answer that, right? Because once they get into Home Depot, they're gonna customers, homeowners are gonna be able to go and like look up a YouTube video and then go buy these parts. Not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, there's Amazon, there's other ways for them to buy them. There's all these websites now. I went to go look at what's that guy, DIY HVAC guy or whatever, Dave. And apparently, because he partners up with all the DIY people and or companies. Obviously, Mr. Cool is a big sponsor of his channel, and there's other ones that are like online stores where you can buy small amounts of refrigerant to top off a unit. You can also, I think, buy gauges, and they sell like these little kits now, which I mean, you have them for your vehicle. Let me get out of this one real quick. I told him no. Would not like it in a consumer store. Yeah. There's no easy way to answer that one. Like I was like, it'd be nice to be able to go as a contractor into a store at any hour of the day, you know, up until 8 or 10, whenever whatever store would close, and then being able to go on the weekend, right? It would be cool, but if there's no regulation to it, I don't want it. And it's not, like I said, it's nothing against DIY. It is what it is. People are going to work on their own systems. There's plenty of different ways to buy stuff, but are they going to ask for their EPA, or they're going to ask for their contractor's license? I get ID'd when I'm out of town and I go to a supply house because I have to work in that town, and I'm like, oh, I need this from the supply house. I mean, they make sure that you're a contractor, but yeah, if they're at Home Depot, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna sell to whoever, right? So not really. I don't see the benefit on the business side, on the HVAC business side. It's gonna be a benefit to the DIY people, the homeowners, which again, they can do whatever the hell they want. It's just I wouldn't like it. Uh, yeah, DIY makes me. Cause like I was saying earlier, on that channel I had seen the kits that he promotes, right? So again, they sell these for cars. I've used them too, right? You go buy a recharge kit from Walmart or whatever it is, and you can top off your car's AC system. Well, like they have that now for residential homes. You can buy it. It's a little, basically like a stubby gauge and stuff. Has a hose, got a little tank of 410 or whatever it is, and it tells you how to charge it up. I mean, obviously they're not fixing the leak or anything, or they could be overcharging it if they have bad airflow or dirty filter, whatever it is. But that stuff exists. I just would rather keep it online where it's a little more inconvenient for them to get. They have to order it. They got to wait for it to come in. They got to take that risk of using it themselves for refrigerant burn, electrical shock. You know, those things do exist and they do happen, and they can be fatal. Unfortunately, I've heard a couple of rare stories of people getting severely hurt trying to work on their own systems. And that's a risk that we take as a technician every day. I've mentioned it before, like we're on ladders up and down, we're on high roofs, we're around a lot of big equipment. You know, that's why we have hard hats, steel toe boots, all that kind of stuff. So there's always a risk. If the homeowner wants to take that risk, you know, let them make that decision. Well, I don't know which part you're talking about, but yeah, I'm speaking on like the channel, the DIY channels I've seen. You can literally go, obviously, like I said, Mr. Cool is a big one for mini splits. You can buy them, but there's like, I don't know what it's called. There's a website for refrigerants that you can buy. There's a website for AC equipment you can buy, and I don't remember what brands they are, but it's something like AC Direct, and I forgot what the refrigerant one is called. And it says, because he shows it on checkout, it says you must have an EPA and a license or something, but there's no verification. It's like a disclaimer, and you can continue and purchase equipment, refrigerant, mini splits, whatever it is. So that's just a workaround, right? And you know, he has he sells courses now. I don't know if you've seen that, Jake. He sells classes and courses now for homeowners. So if you know, he's teaching them out there how to do stuff and profiting. Oh, what's up, Mick? How do you deal with all the floods back there? We have had major flooding here. Also on the South Island, crazy weather. That's what I was saying earlier. It's um we had a weird summer with a lot of rain, a lot of nothing here, nothing floods recently. I think they've done a good job with all the construction, all the drainage that they kind of put in place. And hmm. So we haven't had flooding. We have a lot of rain. We just don't do too much on those days, but you know, we this is why I wouldn't want to live anywhere up north where it's like actual like hail, flooding and rain. I kind of like where I'm at. It's just hot. That's all I have to deal with. Every now and then it rains. This year it's rained probably the most that it has in a long time. And then some summers it gets up to 115, but you know, it's not that bad. And I like I said, I choose to stay here and it's a lower cost of living. It's a lower income area. So I can't charge a lot, but it's really cheap to live here and stuff like that. So all that offsets because like I've seen so many people talk about like how much their business makes, how much they can charge, and this kind of stuff. We don't charge much, and I know I talked with the guys about it because I have my dad is my partner in the business, and he's always like, we got to be competitive, we got to stay cheap, and I'm always trying to raise a price, especially with the quality of work that we provide, and it's just difficult because of the area. It's just cheaper here for everything, but I wouldn't want to change that. I wouldn't want to go up north and deal with, one higher cost of living. Our gas, I gassed up today is like 2.29. So I'm not going anywhere. It's great here. It's just you got to know your worth and make money how you can. And our weather is just hot for the most part, hot all year, and we deal with it. They sell capacitors at Ace Hardware. We don't have any of those. I think the only one we have is like an hour away, so we don't have that issue. But I didn't know that. I've told people on Facebook Market to go to Ace. They're scared. I charge $2.49 a cap. Knowledge, yeah, it costs money, and we started at like I want to say it was like 45, 55 an hour on our cost on what we charge. I had to fight tooth and nail to get that up to closer to 100 an hour. We don't charge like a trip fee or anything like that. We charge the travel time and we make it up that way. But yeah, and like I'm gonna start posting a little bit more about the the business stuff, the behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. And there are certain people when we say, "Oh, we're gonna raise it $10 an hour," because that's how the increments that we've done, right? I think one time the most we went up was like 15 an hour, and you're gonna get some of those people that are like, "Are you kidding me? Why are you doing this to me?" And like the end of the world. But it's only a couple of them. Most of them don't bat an eye because like they trust you or they've called around. Everybody has raised their prices. Um, different. There's different reasons for that, and I like to. I think I heard Kurt say it earlier on his live. Like, we'll fix it that trip out there. We're not gonna get callbacks. We're not gonna drag it out. We're not gonna try to sell you anything else. You're paying a little bit more, or like I think we like to be right in the middle, but you're paying a little bit more if we're not the cheapest because we do it the first time. I hate callbacks. I get after my guys if there's any issues with callbacks and misdiagnosed stuff. I don't like it. So we try to keep that tight, and I don't want to be going back and forth. I try to have everything on my truck. And that's what you get in the price that we charge, right? Diagnose it, go through it. I like to go through everything and just make sure that it's not going to mess up when I leave. I mean, you're going to have issues like that every now and then, but you try to avoid all that. Yeah, it's all relative at the end. Lower cost of living means amount wise may not be, big city large, but it doesn't cost as much to live and work. Yeah. Like I made it by with, like, I took a pay cut to get into this trade. I've always said that. I made more at a grocery store than what I made my first few years working, even with my dad. Like, he started me at what he could pay me. And that's because I was doing a lot of the back end logos and invoicing and helping him with documents and stuff that he wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't get in and kind of do that stuff. He would have had to have hired somebody, obviously, or just, not been on top of it, not get that stuff done. So, I took a pay cut to get into it because I knew I could do much better later. And I know some people don't see it that way. They want to make the most that they can. Like, yeah, you can go get way more money, especially here. Way more money working at McDonald's and just be stuck there, maybe be a manager, whatever. Or you can go get into like a trade, go do HVAC, learn a skill, learn several skills, right? Soldering, troubleshooting, diagnosing, how to work with cranes, how to install something, all that kind of stuff, and get better pay with another company or open your own business or do basically whatever the hell you want if you learn a trade. That's always the payoff. And for the longest time, like, and I mean like half of my career, I'm pretty sure I lived off of, and I had a kid in that time. I lived off of like $500 a week, just because the cost of living is so cheap here. And I just made sure that I did not have any debt. I didn't buy anything stupid. I kept the cars that I bought as long as I could. I fixed them up myself. I made sure I rented in a cheap area, got a house when I had a kid, all that kind of stuff, like just not being dumb with my money. And I lived a very long time on $500. I think I started like at 300 or 400 bucks a week, got a raise, super happy to 515 a week or something like that. And I lived off of that for the longest time. And I had vehicles, I bought a house, I did everything that I, could. Stretched my dollar is what I did. Quality versus value. I stick to the quality lane in our business and I stay away from the race to zero. um so I'm pretty stubborn because when I started, I was always worried about I fell into it too. I was worried about competition, how we charged, what we offered and all that, to where now I'm gonna do what I want to do, but I'm also not gonna work for free. So I will do the best compressor change out that I can. I'm gonna do the best drain line or changing whatever motor, clean up, changing the motor, clean the inside of it, clean around it, maintenance, make sure I take off panels and clean. I'm gonna do the best that I can in the amount of time that I have also. But I'm also not gonna offer, because I even saw it in Jake's video where they were like, "Did you clean the coil?" He was there for like a contactor or transformer or something. And he's like, "Nah." I was like, "Yeah, I don't. If I can charge for it, I will. If I can charge another hour and a half to clean it, okay. If I want to rinse it just because I'm checking pressures and I want to rinse a coil, like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do anything extra for free. Like, my work, I think, is worth what we're charging. And if they want something, again, I do commercial, so I have to get approval. It's a little bit different, or I think a little bit different with it, or I approach it different. But yeah, like if I go out there and they want something else, they got to pay for it. But I'm gonna do the best that I can with that initial call that I got out there for. Like, hey, it's not doing this. Okay, let's check everything and make sure it doesn't happen again, or that if we change a part, we kind of look to make sure it wasn't like just that it just failed. Was there a reason that it failed, right? So I try to tell my guys that just you you found the problem, that's one part of the solution. If you found a bad contactor, a bad whatever it is, bad capacitor, just look, at least go down the line a little bit and make sure that your motor's like it wasn't a bad motor that messed it up. It wasn't, your compressor is amping okay, or, none of the wires look like they're loose. Just little things here and there. Just make sure you got it. And that's, that's the quality part of it. Just make sure you do good quality work, and your customers will see that, and you can charge what you want. And it'll help you. Well, once we did raise prices, it did help weed out all of the bad customers, right? All the ones that wanted a free call, a free this, a free that, and oh, can you give us a better price? Can you give us a discount? Can you do it for this amount? This other guy is doing it for that amount. This other guy does it cheaper. That's cool. Like, call them. I don't know why you're telling me about it. If you really like us, if you like the people that we have, or you like something that we've done for you, like the work, and you like it so much that you're asking us to lower our price to stay there, why not just pay the price to keep us there? Great hourly wage, costs more to eat, to live, eat. So did I make more? Probably not. Yeah, if you make more and you live, like, let's say in California or something like that, that cost of living eats into your income. So it's just, it's kind of like sports. You hear these, because I watch NBA, right? We're seeing a lot of people move around. What is it? Kevin Durant went to Texas. A lot of people like to come to Texas because of the taxes and stuff like that. So like ma- people like big names that make a lot of money end up making less money, or take a smaller contract in Texas, but they actually get to keep more of that money versus if they get a bigger contract in California, because it goes, more of it goes to taxes, right? So it happens in everything, and it's the same thing as if you're an HVAC tech and you get $50 an hour in California, it might be equivalent to 25 here, right? So it depends on where you're at. I always say callbacks are free. I always try to fix it the first time. Callbacks are always free. That's what I get mad about, because I'm like, we're not charging to go back, and I've gotten upset when, well, other companies do that. I've seen it, and sometimes it's they're taking advantage of the person because they know they'll pay it, or they try to talk their way into getting them to pay it. But a callback is free, and I think that's another thing that Kurt had said. Like, if like our customers know we're going to fix it the first time, or if we do have to go back, we're going to make it right, which we've always done that. And and that's the only way you can operate, because if you start having callbacks or like calls for the same problem, whether they're a couple weeks apart or whatever, customers catch on to that. That's how we get a lot of our work, is when we take over someone they're like, oh, they're either never here, they don't answer the phone, and they take forever to come out, like days to come out, weeks to come out, or they come and just keep adding refrigerant every month, or they keep doing this, or they say it's this, and the problem is never fixed. That's how we get our customers. So callbacks can hurt you in a lot of ways. You'll lose business real quick. I remember starting at $15 an hour back in 2022. I hear you. And that's the one complaint. And I think we talked about it on my last podcast with Ben Thompson. That is the one thing that people complain about is like what they start at. Like I get it. There's nothing you can do about it. For one, even talking to other business owners are like, they want to see that are you worth that? Because like starting you at like 15 an hour or whatever is easier to give you a raise once you've shown what you can do versus like starting you at 25, 30, whatever it is that you're asking for, and then being like, you're not really worth that. So we're going to demote you. Like it's easier to go up versus having them start you where you would want to, because like, are you worth that? That's always the thing. And if you start in the trade, you start like, you start real low. If you open up a business, you kind of start over again. That's just the way it works. When my dad started our business, we had a couple of things lined up, but like we didn't charge much to be competitive. We didn't make much to be competitive. We didn't make a whole lot in order to get ourselves out there and make a name for ourselves. And then we could raise prices and we can have our van stock that we needed, build things up here and there. And that's how it, that's how it works. No income tax, Texas. 38 an hour in NorCal is nothing. Exactly. That would mean the world to somebody here, but in California, it's not gonna cover what you need. 400 is cheap. Back in the 90s, rent was affordable. A single guy could have a vehicle, his own place, living good. And then 2000s came, and it's gone up. It hasn't come back down. That was a whole weird part. Is like when I started renting, when I was in college and I started renting, stuff was decent to where I could get a house, and we had to split it. I was a broke college kid. Like there was no way around it. Um, because I was at the grocery store when I first moved out, and then like I said, I took a pay cut to work with my dad, and I had already moved out. So like I went to a job that I made less at, and we still were able to afford a 4-bedroom house for rent, but I split it with two other friends of mine, and we were just roommates. But like that was cheap. 750 for a house that I could rent in a decent neighborhood. After that, it was like everything was like 1,200, 1,500 bucks at least to rent a like a 2-bedroom, maybe a 3-bedroom house. And I mean, obviously I haven't checked in a long time, but they've only gone up, right? That doubled basically if you think about it, and it's gone up more than that. So that's when I had bought a house because it was way cheaper. Obviously, you have to have good credit and some money saved up and all that to buy a house, but buying a house month to month wise, like with the mortgage, was so much cheaper than renting. It was crazy. That's a good point. And I did live in one of those bad neighborhoods that would always steal from my damn vehicle. If you find a $400 place, your truck will be on blocks in 1 day or 1 day. Um, you got to be careful. It took me like a year because I had torn my ACL, but yeah, I moved out right away too. And you get out there and you survive. That is nice. Now it's like they start in that 250 to 300 thousand range, and it's like a sub 2,000 square feet. Like it might be 2,000 or it might be right under. The cheapest apartment I found was a loft for 1,200 a month. Not bad. Besides that, it's 2,000 for one bed, downtown or Riverside. Yeah, it's California. I started at $10 in 2010, then 14 government grant, and now I'm making $35 doing marine AC and extra on the side. There you go, man. 1,500 plus for Miami. Let's see. Think I got to most of the comments. Tyler HVAC, what's up, man? So I'm gonna probably close this out in a minute. Starting at 450 to 500K, it's crazy. Last apartment in San Diego was in 2018, 2750 for a one bed, one bath, 700 square feet. Oh, damn, that's crazy. San Diego, yeah. I was a resi tech for 15 years. My current job scalped me and kept me at the same pay, even though it was refrigeration. I've been doing a refrigeration for a year now. From residential to refrigeration. So you do like light commercial or heavy, I assume. Visiting manufactured home dealers, and they said 400K is the average price. Yeah. Paying 1450 for a 3 bed in Shasta. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. It's getting late. Hope you guys are resting up for the week. I have some ECM motors to put in. I got some maintenance to get to, and hopefully get everything squared away for the new guys. Get all that business stuff. Oh, light with a little bit of heavy commercial. Get all that business stuff squared away so that I can get these guys just, running out there and doing their thing. They've been enjoying it, which is great to see. So I'm hoping to keep doing, this where we have some young guys and we can teach them and see what they want to do. Trying to grow that part of it this year. We'll see how it goes. Again, I appreciate all you guys for coming in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend, hanging out on a Sunday evening before work. And we will be back with HVAC nights this week. We'll have a lot to catch up on, and I hope to see you guys over there. If you haven't, go check out HVAC nights every Thursday evening. Most weeks we always make it, and we'll be back this week. Mr. Rebuilt, Nice seeing you, Victor, Froggy. Yes, Jason. I like to visit Austin, but it is expensive. I had a buddy that lived up there for a good while. Nice neighborhoods, everything that I had seen, but it was expensive. Appreciate you guys. I don't think I have an outro, right? I need to work on that. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.